All right, hour number 3. Let's do this. Again, Tysha's Tower of Trivia coming up pretty soon here, so we can't wait for that. But the wide receiver market, Kelvin, you think is going to pop? Is on a bubble right now?
Yeah, man. When you start to look at some of these numbers, Rob, wide receivers, they've had a field day the last handful of years. I mean, guys are getting paid crazy money. Now, obviously, they're fun. They're one of the more exciting positions, especially with teams who choose to air it out. But when you start doing the math, it starts getting kind of crazy. And so you start to The Athletic did a big piece on just how when you start talking to agents, they're like, that's the position we're actually starting to say, stop paying them. Stop paying A.J. Brown 30+. Stop playing. They said Justin Jeffries might be the only one because not only is he good or great, he also is the most popular. He's actually more well-known. So they said, I can understand that. But a lot of these guys getting this crazy money, these receivers are saying it's not worth it. And you're better off, of course, paying for the quarterback, of course, paying for a lineman, of course, even paying for a cornerback before you pay for the receivers. It's just not equaling out. And you start to look at what some of these guys are getting made. I'll just throw out some numbers here. You know, CeeDee Lamb's 4 years, $136 million. Justin Jefferson, like I said, 4 years, $140 million. A.J. Brown, 3 years, $96 million. 84, that was guaranteed. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 years, $120 million. 77 guaranteed. You remember Jalen Waddle got $84 million over 3 years, 76 guaranteed. And the list goes on and on and on. So these guys are getting crazy money now, but a lot of the GMs, a lot of the agents are saying it's not making sense, and that's why you got we talked about it earlier, I think with Tyler Dragon. That's why you have receivers on the move or getting cut or teams saying, yeah, you can go ahead and inquire about a trade because they're saying it's not worth it. And I think we're starting to see this bubble, and it happens in many facets of life. You saw the Y2K, like the .com bubble. You've seen housing bubbles. I think we're seeing the receiver bubble, and I think it's about to burst similarly to where they started to do that with running backs, Rob. It's just not worth it. I can get a younger back.
I'm not
You know
there
what I mean?
because I don't because it's a passing league. It still is, and I know we saw, but not many teams have Saquon Barkley, you know, and it worked out that way. And even in his contract that he got, the 2 extension years, $20 million a year. It wasn't like they broke the bank and were like, oh, we're just going to run the football and he's the big star and he's Barry Sanders or Emmitt Smith now. So I don't see the league reverting to that. I don't know about the money and what it is. They have to spend some of the money. I don't know how wide receivers aren't going to get it when all the quarterbacks, it's a throwing league.
Because that's a great, it's a fair point.
Touchdowns.
It's a fair point you make, but here's what it's starting to look like. It's starting to become feast or famine. So you got guys like I just listed those top guys, and they're all really good or really great, but they're making $30 million, $28 million, and teams are saying, all right, I'd rather pay this guy we just drafted, or let's go get some draft picks, because these receivers are coming in really good now, just like a lot of these quarterbacks are coming in. They're getting a lot of opportunities. They're getting extra years, COVID years, so they're coming in much more prepared. We'd rather have 2 young studs, kind of like Green Bay right now, and not have to worry about paying them yet. Or we can get somebody towards the end, a DeAndre Hopkins or somebody that's still, you know, relatively good. We can pay him a little bit. They're saying there's no more middle ground. So we don't want to pay guys 30-something, and there's not a lot of guys making, you know, 18, 19, 20, something reasonable. So it's like, let's try to find our young – an example of this, look at this, Rob. If you look at the Buffalo Bills, they didn't have star receivers, and they made it to the AFC Championship and were right there, could have, you know, chance to go to the Super Bowl. You look at the Chiefs. Who's their star already stud? You have Rasheem Rice, who didn't play obviously because of injuries, but young, second year. You got Xavier Worthy, first year. So you're seeing guys, and if you look at the Ravens, Zay Flowers, but he's young and he's not one of those guys, the guys I named. He's not getting paid like that. So you got 3 of the 4 Final Four teams, or no, 3 of the top teams, I should say, who they don't have those star receivers. They're not paying these guys like that. So who are they paying
the money to? So you're saying that receivers aren't going to get paid? Or?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying as much as like they're not, that they shouldn't, as much as this is where the league is going. Just like when running backs had that 10-year period where they're all right, you're not worth the money. We can go find some other. We can get 2 backs. We'll split the carries. We'll get younger guys. And you saw that for a while. And that's why you and I both this past season were so excited to see Christian McCaffrey prior to injury do his thing. You know, you got what you're able to see, of course, with Derrick Henry. Of course, you got to see Saquon. You start to see Jacobs. You start to see Cook. All these guys cook in and doing well. And now Cook wants to get paid. Derrick Henry getting paid. And Saquon just got paid. So it took a while for running backs to say, hey, don't forget about us. I think receivers have been recipients of all of this money, and it might start to affect the market for them moving forward.
I think they're always going to be in good shape as long as they continue to throw the football. And there's just, I mean, not everybody, obviously. If you're in Cincinnati and you got too many guys, everybody's not going to get paid because they can't pay everybody. So I do get that part. But if you're a top receiver, you know, you think Chase isn't going to get paid? Like they have to make a decision, right? He's going to get paid. That's what I'm saying, right?
But I think it's next little wave you're going to see. That's why you're seeing T. Higgins get franchised. That's why Devontae Adams, go ahead, you can go. DK Metcalf, still relatively young, you can go. I think you're just going to – I don't want to pay you that much. I'm already taking care of you, paying you 20. I don't want to pay you 30-something. And I think you're going to start seeing it because teams are having success without having studs.
The team most without a stud would be who?
Team most
Receivers.
without a stud.
Yeah. Like
Well, I'm saying the Chiefs.
So the Chiefs.
They got a 98-year-old tight end.
Okay.
Their best receiver is Rice.
Where did they rank in offense? 15th. They had a quarterback who struggled without having it. And if you were to look at the Chiefs and say, what do you need to do? It's about a receiver, but they can't afford to pay one. Not because they don't want to, it's because they have a quarterback who's eating up so much of the
But that's what
cap
these agents
space.
are saying, Rob. They're saying I'd rather pay all the money to the quarterback, to linemen, and then to cornerbacks, DBs. And that's just kind of where the agents are and folks, the mindset is going. So we'll see. We'll see. But you have so many. The Bills didn't have a star receiver. Got a couple young guys. And like I said, I brought up the who else am I missing? Oh, the Ravens. They don't have like star stud receivers, and you're starting to see where guys can do that. Let's go find a Puka Nacua out of the draft. Let's go find a Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, but there's always
guys who
like
were,
that you find, but that's not going to be. I mean, there aren't that many star receivers anyway. I agree with you on that. Everybody doesn't have a Jefferson on their team, or you know what I mean, or a guy like that. And there are a lot of guys. The Patriots for a long time had guys, you know, if you could get them the football. So I do see that if you can. But I still think the stars will always, star wide receivers, I think they'll get paid. All right.